Matt Stroscio here for WMCT-TV and WMCT Sports, and welcome to the beginning of the third season of the Senior Spotlight Show. As always, we're going to effort towards bringing as many different student athletes from as many different athletic programs throughout the city of Marlboro here in studio and introducing them to you. And today, our guests are the seniors from the Assabet Valley girls volleyball team. We've got Emily Spencer, we got Claire Stroscio, Amanda Pereira, and Katie Taylor. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. They're coming off a 12-9 season where they had a 9-2 Colonial League record, which was best. So they're the champs of the small schools in the Colonial League, and they made an appearance in this year's MIAA state tournament. But before we talk about the season, athletics, or really anything like that, we're going to talk about senior year, because naturally it's a Senior Spotlight Show, right? So Amanda, we'll start with you. Could you just tell me a little bit about your senior year to this point?
So as of right now, I think it's going pretty good.
Nice.
For being senior year. I'm excited, school to be over, and start a new chapter in my life. But I didn't know what to expect for senior year. And then it kind of overexceeded my expectations almost in a way. Okay. And I felt like the change from junior to senior year, it was like I didn't expect it, but it was like a good thing almost.
So you kind of feel like, like at the top of the hill kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So no real surprises or anything like that coming into your senior year?
Not really. More like the responsibility I feel like is a lot bigger on having to get like all your college applications in, like on time, like keeping your grades up, like all that stuff.
Cool. Can you talk to me a little bit about the shop that you're in?
I am in cosmetology, and it's hair, nails, and skin. It's basically like the full umbrella of cosmetology, and but it's mostly focused on hair. That's like the one thing we do, like men's cuts, blow dries, women's cuts, stuff like that. And then they do like dabble with like skincare and nail care and stuff like that.
What made you want to get into that?
I think from a young age, I always liked the beauty aspect of like just like, like girl princess kind of thing. And then like here, like no other shop really interests me aside from like maybe biotech. But I think it's, and also the teacher, like she was really nice, very like open arms, very like, she's like, I really like my teacher.
Oh, that's cool.
But so she also played a factor into that. But just like, also the wide variety of cosmetology, of having the like choice of doing like skincare, hair, or nails. Like aside from like, there's also like the other shops, like you can do different like varieties of it. But I feel like that's what really drew me most to it.
Is it something that you plan on pursuing after graduation?
It is not, but if that is in the plans, I guess it is.
Yeah, it's always good to have those kind of skills as like a side hustle, something like that, so you can make some supplemental income.
Yeah,
that's good.
But
good for you.
I want to go to college for education.
Very nice. And what aspect of education are you looking to get into?
High school teacher for math.
All right, very nice. Good for you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Katie, how you doing back there?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So just a couple of months in, how's the senior year going for you so far?
I think senior year, it's been like a good few months to like start it off. I think these past few months have been like very exciting and very like senior vibes. Mm-hmm. But academically, it's more challenging, more stress with college, but I think I've taken it pretty well.
Yeah, trying to balance new and difficult responsibilities, getting a little bit older, realizing that graduation and a whole new life is just months and months away. So, that's cool. Talk to me a little bit about your shop.
Well, I'm in design and visual, so that's videography, photography, and graphic design. I like the graphic design part the most. Yeah.
Very nice. What inspired you to get involved with that?
Well, I like the arts, so like I'm just a very creative person, and I'm not very academically like strong, I guess you could say.
That's okay.
But I love the arts, and I've always been interested in like products and like how they design them, and graphic design and like posters and all of that. So that's what made me choose the shop.
Outside of school and shop, are there different ways that you like to express your creativity?
Oh yeah, I draw a lot.
Okay.
I'm in advanced art, and Spencer is too. Or Emily Spencer is too. But that's one way, and I like to draw outside of school and paint, and yeah.
like landscapes or you're drawing people? Like what type of what type of things do you like to draw?
Well, I do a lot of doodles actually, but I've recently gotten more into drawing like bugs, which is sort of weird, but like ladybugs and butterflies, not like like the pretty bugs.
Yeah, of course. That's fun. All right, cool. And plans for after graduation?
Yeah, I actually verbally committed to Keene State College up in New Hampshire for volleyball, and also I'm going to be doing graphic design there too.
Great.
So,
good for you.
Yeah,
good luck to you. Claire, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well, I'm doing well. Senior year, how's it going for you so far?
Oh, it's going good. It's just a lot. Like in the summer, I knew I was gonna have a lot of things going on. But when the year started, it was just kind of like straight to the point. I had volleyball every day. The season was crazy and academics are getting hard, but I think it's going well and I'm pulling through and I finished all my applications, and so it's starting to ease into kind of like the senioritis type thing.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it will be smooth sailing from here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
You look forward to being a senior, when you're just a little kid, and
Right.
there's different things that you have to do to kind of put yourself in a position to be successful by the time you get to this point.
Right.
Is there any piece of advice that you would give to an underclassman, maybe like a young kid on the volleyball team that's like, oh, I might be struggling, I don't know what to do. Is there maybe one singular piece of advice that you would give to them to try to help them along?
Yeah, I think that for younger kids, they're focusing, or especially for me, I focus too much on just the little things, and now like little things meaning just like your relationships and all these like friendship issues and all these problems, but you just need to stop thinking about the little things and just focus more on like I think I realized I just need to focus more on I just need to stop worrying about everything and just take it one step at a time. And I think that really helped me through this year because it's been crazy every day, but just taking everything one step at a time really helped me.
Good. That's a good answer. What about plans for after graduation?
After graduation, I go to college for nursing.
Okay.
I want to be an emergency room nurse, so hopefully college will help me with that. But yeah, I finished all my applications, so we're just waiting to see if I get accepted.
Good for you. That's an incredibly noble pursuit. I mean, it's a very stressful job potentially with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Anything in particular motivate you to want to pursue that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, ever since I was younger, I've always known I wanted to help people. But I mean, obviously that's a basic answer. But as I've grown, I work at a hospital now for a co-op with my school, and it just made me realize like the value of nurses. And I just work with them every day, and I see how important they are to patient care and everything in the healthcare system. And I think it's just really cool to pursue.
Well, good for you, and good luck with that.
Thank you.
Welcome. And Emily, hello. Speaking of co-ops, now Emily's just joining us coming from hers. Can you, just right off the bat, can you talk to me a little bit about your co-op?
So at our school, we don't have the program that I would have wanted. The program I would have wanted would be vet tech, but we have this program called biotech, which I'm in, and there's animal science units. I'm actually the first person in my shop's history to go into a veterinary care co-op. So where I go now, I'm a veterinary assistant. I help do tasks like draw vaccines. I go into the exam rooms. I get patient histories. I'm really just helping everyone out.
Now, did you grow up with a lot of pets, and this is what, like the easy transition from being a pet owner to wanting to take care of them?
So ever since I was a kid, I've just always loved animals. My family is a big animal family. There's never less than 4 animals in my house.
Okay.
Right now it's 2 dogs, 2 cats, 3 bunnies, an axolotl, and...
I'm sorry, a what?
An axolotl.
I'm 40 in less than 2 months. I have never heard of that in my life.
It's like this freaky little underwater salamander.
Okay, all right.
And I have a horse too. So my family's big into animals. And so I always knew that I wanted to be a vet because I love animals. More recently, I've had a horse myself who's had really bad medical issues, and through our vet that we used with him, they've really proved to me that I want to be a vet because it's all about communicating with your clients, and if I hadn't had such nice vets, I wouldn't be as keen into going into that world, because they encouraged me to take researching in my own hands. They walked me through all of their processes, and that's really what summed up why I wanted to be a vet.
That's really nice. Again, in high school, you guys have all these different challenges and different things that you need a community around you to help you through. I'm just wondering if there's a particular teacher or faculty member that sticks out to you that you think deserves like a little bit of recognition.
So my shop teacher, I would say, is somebody who I would want to recognize. Her name is Mrs. Stencil, and Mrs. Stencil has guided me through every process. She's really just one of like the kindest people that I've ever met. I feel so personally connected to her. She's the one who heard that this job was looking for a co-op student, and she immediately, she signed me up for it. She was pushing me, telling them all about how she thought I was a good fit. She brought it back to me. She's the real reason I'm moving forward.
All right, now we're gonna switch the focus to the games themselves and the team. So Amanda, we'll start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Coach Milliken?
All right, so I started freshman year. I was on JV1, so she wasn't my head coach. It was Amanda Caputo.
Okay.
And so I wasn't starting off on volleyball. I wasn't directly talking to her about my games and all that stuff. So when I got moved up sophomore year, it was almost like it was almost harder for me to go to her because I wasn't used to her because I got moved up towards the end of the year, right? So and then starting off junior year, I remember at tryouts, I had been going to 4-kicks a lot over the summer, constantly wanting to get better, getting everything down that I needed to improve on. And then the first day of tryouts, she had us do these different drills. And then after she went up to me, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've improved so much. I've never seen I've never seen this drastic of a change in someone like that. You're doing great, whatever," what she was saying. And then I feel I honestly think back on that moment a lot, on how I thought I was almost gonna struggle to fit in, since I did get moved up later, because Katie started freshman year, so she was already in with the team. She knew how Mills was, all that stuff. So it was almost not I had to get mentally tough, almost, in a way. So I feel she, her giving me words of encouragement on that first day, it really helped me up until this year, really.
Yeah, just kind of affirming the, all the hard work that you would put in to have somebody notice it, and not just somebody, the head coach of the team that you're trying out for to notice it. I could see where that would be really nice. Katie, how about you and your relationship with Coach Mills?
Well, yeah, I started on varsity my freshman year, and I was a starter too, so that caused a little drama with the team. I was taking a few people's places, so freshman year was a little harder for me, making friends and fitting in with the team. So even if I was, like Amanda said, she said I was good with Mills, I knew what she wanted. It was a little more different than that. So freshman year, how I said, it was hard. There was a few girls who didn't really like me, and Mills was there for me to go to be hey, it's not going too good right now, But she really understood me, helped me through that, and yeah, the next 3 years were a breeze.
A nice calming presence in a turbulent time, huh? Mm-hmm. That's great.
So she helped me through my freshman year, so.
Yeah, it's only gotten better since, right?
Yeah.
Good. Claire, how about you?
Yeah, so Mills has been really someone that just helped me out through my entire 3 years at Assabet. I transferred in late. I went to Westboro High School my freshman year and then transferred. So it was new people, new program. I knew one girl walking through the door. And of course the head coach is obviously going to be a little bit scary to a new player. But Mills, she just was someone that really, she's an amazing person she's not going to be you did something bad, and she's not going to be it's fine. She's going to tell you what you did wrong and how to fix it, but she's not going to, she has a way about herself that really helps people improve, and I think that was really helpful for me because she's just going to be honest with you and tell you what to do better. And that just really helped me. And she just made me feel comfortable on the team by just telling me everything. And I thought she just was really helpful.
So her brutal honesty was something that really helped to build the trust in the relationship.
Yes, because it's like, she's not mad at you, which is something that we had to talk through. But it just really helps in the game because you just know what you need to do and you know how to get there and you have the coach there right next to you telling you how to get there, and it just really helped me out with it.
That's nice. That really is. Emily, your relationship with Coach Milliken.
So my freshman year at Assabet, I made JV, and then towards the end of the year, during playoff season, I got pulled up to come practice with varsity, to wear the jersey on the bench, that kind of thing. And I was really scared of Mills at first. If you saw her, you wouldn't think she's scary, but feeling like her presence, it's like an overwhelming aura of just like a cold feeling rushing over you. But recently, especially this year, that's not her fault. I've always been a very anxious and quiet person. This year, I've definitely felt like I can open up to her. This is like the first year I've been able to crack jokes with her. And I felt so much closer to her this season than the past seasons. And as a coach, she's just kind of one of those people that she'll let you play games, she'll let you fool around, but when it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious. And she's not gonna let you get away with anything, like Claire said, but it's more of like, she's like this little voice in your head that keeps telling you the same thing over and over again. And it feels annoying at the time, but then at the end of the day, you learned, and now it's in my head forever.
And you just realize that she's not just being hard on you, she's being hard on everybody else. And that's something that, brings the team together. Sometimes having a common adversary or enemy, I had high school coaches too, and sometimes it can be difficult getting along with them. But you know that what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the best out of you. And that's something that you can definitely appreciate over the time, especially as you get towards, the end of your high school career and you get to look back on all those times that you've had. So that's really nice. I have a couple of different questions before we get to the quote portion of the interview. Amanda, is there one game or a moment throughout your high school career that sticks out, like a favorite kind of moment?
I'd have to say when we went to Nantucket for playoffs.
Okay.
That was my sophomore year. That was right when I got pulled up, so I didn't play. But just like the bus ride to, where was the port? I don't remember where it was.
To one of the ports.
I've never been to Nantucket, so I have no idea.
One of the ports in Cape Cod. Just like that hour and a half bus ride there was like, it was just like so like it bonded us so much, I feel. It was like, we got there, we went on the ferry, we got to the island. And then the bus ride to the school, we were seeing everything. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. Like, what are we doing here? And then we got to the school, and then their AD was really nice. He was like, oh, this is where everything is, like very calm, very everything. And then when they started playing the game, we were expecting to get kind of completely like annihilated by then, because they had this like D1 commit like on the team. Wow. Like she was a crazy hitter. But like we went in just like we have nothing to lose almost.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that was probably like the best volleyball I had seen them play up to that point. So I think that was like my favorite memory. And then after, they gave us pizza. And that was really good pizza.
Well, there's that too. That's a nice little cherry on top of any memory, So very, very cool. Claire, sorry. Do you have a favorite memory, a favorite game, anything like that from your time?
So my favorite memory, well, this isn't a good memory, but it's something that made it was a turning point in my career. Last year, we had an important game, and towards the end of the game, I hurt my foot, so I had to leave the game. It was a bad injury, but so obviously our team lost the game, and it was just hard for everyone. Especially, I thought it was embarrassing for me, but everyone watching and everything. So I was out for the rest of the season, and that was really, especially as a starter, that really just shook the whole team. I feel like, and it was just something hard for me. I had to still show up to practice the next day and watch my teammates that I love so much just play without me, and it was kind of felt like I was left out and I was like failing them. But I think it was more of a lesson after that, and it was something that made me grateful for being able to play. Hold on.
No, I'm thinking back. No, it's very nice that you have appreciation for such a difficult moment, and you used it as something to, motivate yourself to try to get back. I imagine. I mean, that's, now that you have it and you're able to play again, I'm sure it's something that you don't take for granted.
Yeah, no, definitely looking back, it was something that helped me, in the future, and now I'm so grateful to be playing with everyone, and it just makes me feel so appreciative for all my teammates and everyone that supported me. Oh my God.
No, that's a very nice answer, Claire. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's nice. Throughout the course of a season or a career with a particular team, you have different people that might help you along the way. So when you're an underclassman, there's obviously seniors out there that you looked up to. Some could be helpful, some can't. You even talked about your freshman year that there were seniors or upperclassmen that were upset because you took their spot. But I'm sure that not everyone was like that.
Yeah.
So is there anybody that you can recall that really helped you through those difficult times?
Yeah, there's a few specifically. So freshman year, my captains were very helpful with me and through that whole experience. So it was Sage and Ada. Ada was a junior at that time and Sage was a senior. Ada was literally my big sister. She would literally help me through everything. She was the best. There's no words to describe her because she's too amazing.
Yeah.
But she really helped me through my whole freshman year. She was a great player. She really knew how to support the whole team and not just specific people. She was a great captain, and I really looked up to her at my time there. And especially Sage. Sage was also, yeah.
No, but I mean, just having those types of moments with people in a difficult situation, I'm sure that made you much more aware as an upperclassman when you've got the underclassmen who might be struggling to know and identify that person and maybe to help them out a little bit more than you would have regularly, right?
Yeah, I would like to say I stepped up in the role of making sure everyone's okay or everyone's mentally okay during the game, and I through past 4 years, I've really been working on my mental game, so my positivity, not getting down after 1 point or whatever. So being able for me to really know hey, I've improved, I can now share that with other people on the team and bring them or lift them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being a positive influence, having that positive energy, because in a team, you have a common goal, but not everyone pulls in the same direction as much as some people do sometimes. So it's vitally important to have real leaders on the team that can help to bring somebody's negative disposition and kind of turn it in a positive way. So good for you, really.
Thank you.
And Emily, kind of a different question. So this year's team, obviously you four guys are here right now, the seniors of the team, leaders of the team, but there are members of teams that kind of are important but kind of fly under the radar. Do you think that there's somebody that you can identify from this year's team as being kind of an unsung hero?
So there's definitely a lot of people on our team that are just such supportive players, and everybody on our team is a part of our team, and it doesn't feel like anybody falls under the radar too much. But I would say sort of an unsung hero of the game would be Nicole Fanny. She is always just such a kind person, and usually it's hard to acknowledge quiet people, but Nicole is quiet in the way that she speaks when something is important to her, and everything that comes out of her mouth is kind. I've never heard her say something negative about her teammates. Just this past playoff game, she went out of her way to write each of the seniors a little note because she had to leave early and just wanted to say something kind just in case it was our last game. And I just think she brings such a calming presence, and she's always somebody that you can stand next to and be proud to call your teammate.
Well, that's very sweet. I'm sure she really appreciates hearing that.
I hope so.
Well, thank you for sharing that, guys. I do appreciate that. Now we're going to transition to the quote portion of the interview, where I've got a quote from Coach Milliken for each one of these young ladies here, and we will get their reaction in real time. So, Claire, we'll start with you.
Oh God, so scary.
From Coach Milliken. Claire, the girl who I would always joke with, saying you're the reason I have gray hair. The girl who would always battle and take on any challenge thrown her way. Being a setter myself, Claire knew I would always push her for her best, and she brought it. Claire has so much passion for volleyball, and it's been electric. She inspired the young girls to work hard and not cut corners, and it paid off. Claire battled back from injury, was mentally tough, always wanted to be on the floor, and led the team with style.
Style.
Look at that,
Oh my gosh.
So what do you have to say in reaction to that?
Oh my gosh, I think that's just very nice of Mills, and I think that even though she said I give her gray hairs, I think that sometimes it was just funny over the season with the Mills because she'd always be telling me things. I'd be like, Mills, I know, but I just think back to it now, and I'm like, she's always looking for the best in me, and she tries so hard to get just the best out of everyone, and it just shows through all of her coaching. I think that's really nice.
It certainly seems like you appreciate the relationship that you've
Yes,
developed with
yeah.
her over the course of time, so it's really nice to
Yeah.
hear you say that. All right, Emily. Emily Spencer is the true definition of the Aztec way. We wear heart and hustle on our uniforms, and everything she does on and off the court is with that motto in mind. She was a silent leader, but set an example to lead with grace and to give your best. She understands there is no I in team and would do anything for her teammates and this program. A libero and true defensive specialist who always wanted to improve and do more. You have to say to that.
She just tells me that all the time. So she's that just reminded me of a saying that she used to have last year. She used to say, hustle like Claire and play like Spence. And they would shout it on the team and they would chant it.
Wow.
And she would never tell us what it meant, but I think that's what it means.
Very nice. All right, next up, Amanda. Amanda is a player who I consider to have true Aztec swagger. She could make you laugh at the drop of a dime, but knew when it was time to get down to business. When I think of Amanda, I think of work ethic. She knew what it took not only to develop as a player, but to help the program succeed as well. You would find Amanda at an off-season practice on a Friday night putting in the work, and even though we would always correct her footwork, she lived up to every expectation and truly left it on the court, smashing and blocking in the middle.
I don't know how to respond to that. I will say, between me and Mills, it almost is like she gives me a lot of constructive criticism. Her and the two other coaches, Gabby and Joyce. Gabby, there was one time she was saying, she's like, oh, I can never name my kid Amanda because it's so negative sometimes. Because every time I'd mess up, they're like, Amanda! I was like, Amanda! Oh my gosh. And then that was like more towards the middle. And then towards the end of the season, I feel like I did improve like almost out of nowhere. I don't know why, me personally. I feel like it was kind of like a switch, kind of just turned off and everything, like the dots started aligning.
Yeah.
And on the last game, I go up to them, I was like, can you maybe name your daughter Amanda now? Oh. And then she was like, I guess I'll think about it. But I feel like just everything that, I feel like I've seen all like the ins and outs of the program, really, because I am very close to the coaches, and I was very close to Caputo. She no longer coaches, but she is, what is she called, like, for a student council? She has a name for that.
Council.
She's like a student council leader, basically. And I'm also on the student council e-board, so I'm also very close to her. So just hearing these kind words from Mills, I really appreciate it, because sometimes her yelling at me.
Well, you went through a lot of tough love over the course of your time,
yes.
and now you see the fruits of your labor, you know?
Yeah.
So good for you, really. And now, Katie, last but not least. Katie is what I refer to as a volleyball brain. She knows the game inside and out and was a player that could adapt to any situation and could be our utility player. She started middle for us, but went outside when there was a need. She can hit from anywhere and has a killer serve. I know she's not a huge fan of compliments, but she was a go-to lean-on player when a match was close and a skillful teammate, always willing to teach and encourage our young girls. Sounds like pretty much what you were talking about before as far as like helping the younger teammates and understanding your role now as an upperclassman. But how does it feel to hear your coach verbalize that, or say it and I verbalize it? You know what I mean.
I mean, it's true. Compliments aren't my favorite, but like it's nice to hear them once in a while, But I think it really shows how appreciative how appreciative I am of her and how appreciative she is of me, and I really appreciate that she said those things about me.
Oh, it's very nice. All right, now we're going to transition from the quote portion of the interview into the shout out portion of the interview, where each of these young ladies will have the opportunity to show some love to people in their lives that have helped them get to this point. So Amanda, we'll start with you. Who has helped you along and gotten you to this point in your senior year?
So first of all, I'd say my mom and my dad. My mom would try to make it to as many games as she could, but with her work schedule, it wasn't always guaranteed. But after every game, I would get home, win or lose, she would have something to critique me on. Even though she thinks she knows a lot about volleyball, sometimes she doesn't. But I would honestly take it, and I'd always she'd show up to games, and then I'd hear her yelling in the bleachers. So it'd almost help me sometimes. Yeah. Serving, it's she hates when I misses my serve, right? So and then when she's there, I'm like, okay, I have to make it over. I have to make it over. Even if I'd rather have it over and out than not make it over the net in the first place. But also, I want to thank Mrs. and Mr. Taylor, Katie's parents, because they were at probably every home game and as many away games as they could be, and they were always there cheering me on. And after every game, I would have a debrief with them. And so Katie would get mad sometimes because I wasn't helping clean up the net, but I was having my debrief time with them. And Joyce Carey, she's the assistant coach as well. I don't think I would be anywhere without her, really. I was every day at practice, I'd yell, Joyce, jump on her, give her a hug. She was just dare to talk about anything and volleyball. So it was just a 2-in-1, perfect deal there. And also, I'd have to say Liza Mosquita. She was our captain 2 years ago. Yeah. Or she wasn't even my captain. But my sister was on varsity, so I'd always have to stay after because I'd have to wait for her to be my ride home. Mm-hmm. And then I'd always be talking to Liza. She would always help me. She was always there to encourage me. She was you can do this. She would always watch my JV games and all that stuff. So I feel she was also a factor into that, even though I don't even think she knows that. But now she will.
Very, very nice. Katie. Okay. And who would you like to shout out?
I have a few people. So, of course, my parents, because no matter what, one of them would try to make it to, all of our games. I don't think they missed a game, honestly. So, of course, them. All my friends, they've been supporting me, and especially my friends on the team, our whole team. Yeah. They're amazing. I love them so much. And also my pepper partner, Emma. I really appreciate her. She helps me through the whole season. I got to talk to her about my problems. She got to talk with me with hers. It was really fun. And I think that's it probably.
All right. Yeah. Very nice. Claire, how about you?
Yeah, so I have a lot of people that I really appreciated throughout my season. Of course, my parents, they're always there for me. They come to all my games, and I always like coming home from my dad. He would always have some advice, and then my mom would be the one be like, Dan, you have to just calm down. But he'd always help me, and it made me feel like I had someone always there for me. And then I also had just my friends, my boyfriend. After every game, he'd always tell me that I did a good job, and it would just make me feel like I could just do anything. And another one, there's the twins on our team, Camila and Julia. I don't think they know this, but they really made me feel confident because I'm a self-conscious person, and every day they'd give me a hug. They'd be so nice, and they'd make me feel like important. And yeah, so that's it.
That's great. Very nice answer. And Emily, how about you?
Well, obviously there's the thanking your parents, but the way that my parents have affected my volleyball career is so immense, and both in such different ways. My dad, throughout every volleyball season, even when I was on JV, he would drive hours away to come see these games, and it over the years has really meant a lot to me. And even though my mom couldn't come to all of these games, I'd always come home to a meal and she'd want to hear everything about the game. My dad would get a little bit too into it, maybe throw a couple of swears in, and then maybe she would gasp at a really high volume. But that was probably my favorite part of every game, was going home and talking about it.
Yeah.
And then I know we've talked a lot about our other coaches, but our coach, Joyce, has really shaped who I am as a player. I've always been very quiet and just felt like I maybe don't belong everywhere, or maybe I'm not good enough. But Joyce, being such a knowledgeable person about volleyball and so skilled herself, telling me and reassuring me that I'm good enough to like be at varsity and be like the starting libero was a real reason why I felt so confident going into every game.
That's nice. That's nice. Guys, I hear a lot of shout outs. Those are very, very nice ones. I really do appreciate you guys sharing that with us. That is going to bring us to the end of our interview. Unfortunately, I've had a wonderful time with you guys. I really do appreciate the four of you guys coming in today.
Thank you so much for
having
having
us.
us.
You're very, very welcome. This episode of the Senior Spotlight Show, like the rest of the episodes, are available on our station's Facebook page, YouTube, on our website as well. And if you spend entirely way too much time in the car, these Senior Spotlight interviews are also available in podcast form. They're available wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search WMCT Sports. So once again, for the seniors from the Assabet Valley Girls Volleyball team, I'm Matt Bisaccio, and we will see you next time.